Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Teaching Learning with Poornima once again. And today we will learn the poem Keeping Quiet, composed by Pablo Neruda. It is the pen name of Naftali Ricardo Basalto. Later on, the writer adopted Pablo Neruda as his official name. He was born in Chile. He wrote in Spanish. His poems are full of beautiful images which are easily understood. He won Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. In this poem, the poet talks about the necessity of being quiet, taking a pause, and introspect about ourselves, to understand ourselves as well as other human beings. So let's begin. Before explaining you the poem, let me tell you the poem is composed in blank verse or free verse. It means the poem doesn't follow any rhyming scheme. The words 12, still, earth, language, second, much, moment, engines, they don't have rhyming words at the end of the lines. Even line length is not regular, and the stanza division is also not regular. Somewhere there are 2 lines, somewhere there are 4 lines in the stanza, somewhere there are 6, 7, 8 lines as well. That is why we can say that the poem is composed in blank verse or free verse. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. Poet wants us to count 12. 12 is a meaningful word. It may suggest 12 months in a year, 12 hours in a day, or 12 zodiac signs of the people. Actually, he wants all the people to count 12, and till that time, all the people together should be quiet and still. They should not speak anything, they should not move anywhere, they should not work. Let me tell you, in the beginning itself, we can see that alliteration is used. एक लाइन में अगर 2 वर्ड्स के बिगिनिंग में सेम कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड होती है, देयर वी हैव alliteration. We will. W sound is repeated here. We also have assonance here. Will, still. Here, the vowel sound I is repeated after first consonant. That is why we have here another poetic device, that is assonance. So, the poet asks us to keep still, should not move, we should not talk, we should not do anything. Why? Because we need to take a pause. We need to think deep. We need to understand ourselves. For once on the face of the earth, for only once, because we have never ever done such thing. आज तक हमने कभी बिल्कुल रुक के देखा ही नहीं है. So we need to pause. In the entire world, everyone should pause. Let's not speak in any language, because language may create misunderstanding. One person may not understand the language of other person. That is why silence is the best language, because silence doesn't speak. It gives us chance to think, and that is the best way to understand. Let's stop for 1 second, for a moment. We should not move our arms, our limbs, our body parts. It means we should not do anything. And this pause will only teach us a great lesson. One more poetic device is used here, let's. One word is repeated in the beginning of 2 consecutive lines, let's, and that is known as anaphora. A-N-A-P-H-O-R-A. Anaphora means repetition of a word in 2 lines, 2 consecutive lines, in the beginning of 2 consecutive lines. So the poet asks us, we should not move our arms, our body parts so much, because stillness will teach us something. it would be an exotic moment, a beautiful moment, an important moment. We have never ever experienced such moment. We are so much involved, we are so much busy in running, in meeting the targets, in meeting the deadlines, reaching on the top, that we have forgot how to take a pause, how to think. And when we think, when we take a pause, when we try to understand ourselves, that is a beautiful moment. Without rush, without engines, there will be no rush, no running out for work, not using any weapons, any means, any tools, any machines. कोई machines नहीं use करेंगे for our work. Neither we will use our body parts. There will be complete stillness. The word without is repeated. This is known as repetition poetic device. And this is used to highlight something. He wants to emphasize that there should be complete stillness, complete pause. We would all be together. One more alliteration is there. We would be all together. Poet doesn't mean to say that everybody would be together at a place, but we will be together, हम लोग एक साथ होंगे in a sudden strangeness, in a strange atmosphere, because we have never ever felt such pause. ऐसा pause हमने life में कभी देखा ही नहीं है, which is very necessary. And we can very well relate to this sudden strangeness, because right now and some time before, almost the entire world was in lockdown. Nature forced us to stop, to think. And this time we used in thinking and understanding ourselves, knowing ourselves, and knowing what pleases us, what is our real interests. Though the situation, this condition will be strange, but this will be pleasing and fruitful. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales. Everybody will leave, stop their work for some time. Fishermen will not go in sea and would not catch fish. And in this way, he will not kill whales and other animals, other sea animals. And the man who gathers salt would look at his hurt hands. All the time he is busy in his work and he hurt his hands. But this time when he stops, he will have time to look at his hands, what harm he has done to his own hands. This line is very meaningful. Here poet wants to suggest that in this mad race, in this mad rush and busy life, so much harm we do to ourselves. So we need to take out some time and think about what harm we have done to ourselves. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors. Some people are always in war with nature. Here green is used as symbol for nature. Lot of symbolism is used in the poem. Many words are used as symbol for other things. Green is the symbol of nature, and people are in constant war with nature. In a way, they exploit natural things, overusing natural resources, exploiting natural resources, and this way we are posing ourselves as the threat to our own existence. Wars with gas means releasing poisonous gas in atmosphere. Why vehicles? Number of vehicle is increasing on road. Industries are increasing. They emit poisonous gases and they pollute our environment. Wars with fire. It means actual wars which soldiers fight on the borders with the soldiers of other nation. These words, they are used as symbols: gas, fire. This way we are mixing poison in our food, in our air, in water, as well as in the hearts of fellow beings, because we are in constant war with other nations. And these wars give only one consequence, one result, that is victory with no survivors. Even if we are victorious, there are no survivors to celebrate that victory, to rejoice the victory. These words remind me Emperor Ashoka. Emperor Ashoka was mad in his ambition of being a king of entire Hindustan, and Kalinga was the obstacle. But when he used all his forces to win Kalinga, he found himself standing among the heaps of dead bodies of his own soldiers. And then he realized what is the value of such victory which he cannot celebrate, rejoice with his own people. And then he became a peaceful king. Human beings are so foolish and stupid. They only realize the value of things when they lose it. But poet wants us to understand the value of things, nature, our environment, and our fellow people before we lose them. And that is why he asks us to put on clean clothes, leaving the uniforms and clothes which we wear during our work. And we should walk for some time with our brothers in shade, doing nothing. Without doing anything, in shade, in a quiet and peaceful place, we should walk with our brothers, and we should talk, and we should enjoy life. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Poet doesn't want that we should leave all the work altogether. We should not work at all. He doesn't mean that, because life is what it is about. Life is about moving on. The show must go on. Life means activity. Otherwise, it will be equal to death. He doesn't want any truck with death. This is also used as the symbol because it means massive destruction, mass killing. In war or in world wars, that is why he is preaching us to be peaceful people. If we were not so single-minded means having only one objective, one goal, focused. We are so much focused about keeping our lives moving, earning livelihood, that we forget the value of life. That is why we should not be so much single-minded and focused about how to keep our life moving, and for once only we should try doing nothing. Perhaps a huge silence, a big silence, might interrupt or break the sadness. Which sadness? Sadness of never understanding ourselves. Because we don't get time to understand ourselves. That is why a strange sadness creeps in our heart. And this sadness can only be removed when we are silent, when we are quiet, and when we talk with ourselves, and when we think deep in our hearts, and of threatening ourselves with death. This way, when we do not understand what are our actual needs, we become a threat for our own existence, and we push ourselves towards death. Perhaps the earth can teach us. Poet wants us to take a lesson from earth. Here earth is used as a person, as a teacher. That is why we can see that personification is used here. We can take the lesson from earth as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. There are some times when everything seems to be dead. It seems as if nothing is growing, especially in winter season. We feel that nothing grows. The leaves are dead. New leaves are not coming. Flowers are not blooming. but it is only for some time. The earth is taking a pause in order to regain its vitality, which is very important, which we should also learn. In order to rejuvenate ourselves, in order to regain the strength and freshness, we also need to take a pause. And after some time, there comes spring. New sprouts come, new flowers come, new leaves come. This is a lesson to all the human beings, that taking a pause doesn't mean any loss to our life, to our work, to our business. But taking a pause will help us to regain our strength, our freshness, our vitality, our interest. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. This line is repeated again. The poem begins with this line and it is repeated once again, which is known as refrain. Poet wants us to keep quiet and count up to 12, and by that time we should keep quiet and be still, and he would leave us in our stillness, in our pause, so that we can introspect and we can understand what is required for us, so that we can think and understand what are we doing, why are we doing, and for whom we are doing. जो काम हम कर रहे हैं वो किस लिए कर रहे हैं, and what will be the consequences. This is the message which the poet wants to give to us, that thinking before doing something is more important than keep doing and working without thinking. Here, beautiful images are used. Using imagery, poet has given a beautiful description of the people who work. Life is what it is about. This is again repetition. And assonance is used also, like I sound is repeated in the beginning of 3 words. So here we have assonance. Then one more poetic device we have, might interrupt. At the end of the words, T consonant is repeated. This is known as consonance. When the consonant sound is repeated in the beginning of the word, that is alliteration, and the consonant sound is repeated at the end of the words, that is consonance. I hope you have understood the poem. This is a beautiful poem. If we really grasp the essence of the poem, we can definitely change the quality of life that we live. Thank you. Keep watching my channel. Keep learning with me. All the best. Bye-bye.